all in the kitchen, and we heard like things rustling around in the bathroom. We're like, what the hell? So my stepmom went and knocked on the door and was like, damn, what's going on? Are you all right? Anyway, my sister-in-law went in and said she needs to use the bathroom. So he came out, and he's kind of like hovering.
Haley,
and
sorry, Haley. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but just because my mind's sort of going crazy with trying to figure out and keep people straight. Who is your sister-in-law?
So Shelby,
Okay.
Cheryl said I was her sister-in-law. It's like confusing, but Shelby's with my brother. She's my sister-in-law, and Cheryl is Shelby's sister. So.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Okay, just to get it straight as to who we're talking about so that people in chat sort of know. Anyway, go ahead.
So like he was wrestling some things around in the bathroom, and we went in to kind of investigate after him, and there was drugs. Drugs was involved in that.
But she never really says that she saw drugs. She says, we went into the bathroom, and yeah, there was drugs. It isn't until she talks to Malaya that it's confirmed, according to her, because that's Haley, the half-sister. So we're going to be talking a little bit about what we know from what they've shared. So let's say hello to a few people. Annabelle, Roma, I don't believe any of them. Those children are not in the woods, and they weren't kidnapped. Just my opinion. All right, love. Well, we all do have an opinion, and we are entitled to it. This is a safe place. Share your opinion, respectful. I am unbiased. I am not even sure what to believe in this case. However, we do have some insight, and here's why. So, unlike other channels, we're completely different in the fact that we basically, or at least I do, I bring you in and we together break down what we know in a case, and we allege, we speculate, we think things through, critical, and to be honest, in the end, at the end of a case, which I've worked over 100 with you, we're usually right on it, okay? Usually. We have a few cases that we were like, whoa, like the Brian Kohlberger case out of 4 case. I'm still like, what just happened? But in this, we can use some common deductive reasoning, right? Stuff that just makes sense. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. I'm Mama D, and like I said, we speculate here. Welcome everybody to our live. Hi, Tress, Debbie Gazzardo, Claire, Rage, Kelly Porter. Hello, everybody. I hope you are all doing well. Good to see you all. Hi, Madeline's Post, Viv, Debbie Gazzardo, Tress, Jennifer Swain. All right, you guys, there's over 100 and some, and we just started. We do have a poll going. Remind me so that I go back to it. The poll is, did you have faith? Do you, not did, but do you? So you can play along at home in the poll, okay? I have a mosquito. Hold on. Our house is just like covered in mosquitoes today. I'm like ready to put bug spray on in my house. So you can play the poll at home with us. So the question is, do you have faith in the job that RCMP are doing? Now, if you answer A, then your answer... Are you okay?
Yeah, fine.
If you answer yay, if you answer A, yes, is your answer, that RCMP will find Jack and Lily. Once we get over 100 votes, then I'll share the results. If you choose B, you're saying no, RCMP didn't get the cans till recent. There's that mosquito. Or if you choose C, then you're saying I'm starting to doubt the RCMP. Ugh, I think I caught him in my ear. Look. Do you see him? I caught him in my ear. C, I am starting to doubt RCMP. And if you choose D, you're saying I feel RCMP is close to an arrest. So the more that the family talks, and oh my gosh, oh my golly. Okay, last night was absolutely off the chain. All right. I went over visiting the lovely channel. It's a criming shame, where Sunny has been working her butt off on really getting Lilly and Jack's info out there. She's done several interviews. Charmaine, I believe is her name, also comes on there and had gotten texts from Daniel. So then there's the Darren O'Grady grandpa, which to me is a big can of beef. If you don't know what I mean by can of beef, Dan O'Keefe in the Jay Slater case, Jody Sue in the Summer Wells case, kind of deal. That's just my humble opinion. But anyway, Sunny's doing a great job on It's a Criming Shame. And I support that. Anybody that's working towards finding Lilly and Jack, awesome. And you know, Dolly Vision jumped on over there. It was really cool. She had several content creators all gather, including me. And we were throwing a couple, I was through a couple from you guys, super chats to support her. Because all hell was breaking loose because of Darren, the stepdad of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, and Grandpa O'Grady was in the chat. And Sunny finally shared her theory, which she has a lot of information. And when she brought her theory together, I'll have you go watch her channel and watch her theory unfold. But as she revealed her theory, it set off Grandpa O'Grady, and his true colors were just all over the place. Daniel also gave a response about the blanket, right? Not only is he saying there's two shirts, but he also, in an earlier chat, he said there were two blankets as well. Come on, we know when we start seeing duplicates in cases, there's problems. So we're going to listen to O'Grady talk about the blanket, what he said a few days ago, right, that Daniel told him. And then you're going to see how quickly O'Grady turns on Sunny, who's done nothing but work to get the word out there about Lilly and Jack, simply because her opinion was different than O'Grady's. And he threw a tantrum, y'all, like forever and a day. I only grabbed, I think, 4 screenshots because I just didn't want to, I felt bad for Sunny, but at the same time, she is veteran into true crime. She's been doing it a while. She's like myself. And when you're triggering people to lose it that are part of the case, that you're striking a nerve. So let's get into this a little bit. Things that we have been told by family. Now, everything is alleged. I have no proof that Daniel actually owns the Pokemon channel, but we all know he does. You know what I'm saying, Vern? We have no way to know if Darryl O'Grady ever even talked to Daniel, but we know he did. So it's alleged. Nothing here is based on absolute fact. We are speculating, and if that isn't your thing, then you're on the wrong channel. Please use your right to choose and choose a different channel, because here we're going to talk, and boy, are we ever. Okay? Here's how it's breaking down. We've heard that Haley, the half-sister of Malaya, Haley, is alleging that there were drugs in the bathroom. That when she confronted Malaya on the driveway, her sister, Malaya, broke down and told them that, it's been going off and on for almost 2 years. This is all alleged by Haley. Now, let's get real. Janie, this grandma, the step grandma that lives on the facility that Jack and Lily went missing from, we've had some problems here with, she didn't want her camper searched. Daniel told us that she had a little dog that was a Yorkshire. Turns out that Belinda, or not Belinda, one of the family members of Malaya, said, no, listen, this is a huge dog. This is a very large dog. It was up on the steering wheel, and I could definitely notice it. So why is Daniel lying about the dog? I don't know. But it's what Janie, the step-grandma, is alleging why she didn't want them in her little rundown camper, right? She didn't want the... And then there was something mentioned about a cupboard. This all came from Belinda, allegedly. Again, alleged through the whole video. So, I've done some reflecting and some deep dive thinking. Here's how it works. Daniel told us all he could not see his own children from a previous relationship, as well as he could not see Meadow, that he was working towards supervised visits. Now, things changed eventually, recently, but Lilly and Jack weren't found, but all of a sudden, he earned, somehow, supervised visits with Meadow. Janie has said she can't see any of the kids, including Meadow, yet. That's in her own words, if we believe those are her texts, which I do. So Janie and Daniel were restricted from not only seeing Meadow, but all the kids. Janie even went to say she had to miss a birthday party. She couldn't be around the kids. Okay. We also know CPS, or whatever you have in Canada. By the way, I am from the U.S. for the lady that rudely emailed me that whole email about why am I telling people I'm from Canada. You have the wrong channel, lady, and you're rude as hell. So yeah, I blocked you out of my email after I tried to explain and you just got more rude. Everybody knows I'm from the United States. Most people know I'm from Wisconsin. I've had my channel a long time. Please do your research before you hit up my private email with ludicrous crap. Anywho. So here's how I am processing this. I have a great deal of experience with children that are in special needs home and children that are, I did special needs teaching from the age of 20 till I was 26 years old. That's what I did. I was a special needs teacher. I had to quit because I went off on a parent that beat the crap out of his 3-year-old little boy. And I knew I was going to end up prison because I wanted to take a bat to work and be like, how does it feel? Right? So I'm like, I can't do this job. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose it. This little boy, 3 years old, shows up and he's got a big bruiser. The dad admits it. Oops, sorry, I guess I lost my temper. And I just went off. I went off. That's all I'm going to tell you. And I got wrote up. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm getting a new career. So, in this, I also have a family friend who has had a math problem, if you follow me, off and on for years and years and years. And how it worked is this. When she got caught and the children got removed from the home and given to their daddy who didn't do math, she had to earn it back by being able to pass a PISS test. A PISS test, right? She had to earn it back. Once she could pass one, she was then granted the first steps of supervised visits. So I'm asking, is that why the kids couldn't be seen by Daniel and Janie? Is because what Haley is sharing is true. Because it didn't seem like there was much of a wait there. It was like this shit blew. They went to that meeting and Malaya was done. So she didn't have much wavering on the decision. She knew. In other words, if you want this baby, you ain't going to be staying there where there's rugs when you got 2 missing kids. So if you want the baby, you better come with me. And then Daniel and Janie no longer have rights to the kids. But then we caught this little thing. Let me show you where Daniel volunteered some information, and I'm in the chat. So I was asking a lot of questions of Daniel, just like everybody else. All right, let's switch over, make it bigger for you. You're going to have to look really close over here. So right here, let me see how big I can make it. Oh, I have an idea. Let's make it ginormous for you. Now, notice the words have. Now, we're asking the question for Daniel. Was that true about the drugs in the bathroom? He didn't deny it. He didn't say, no, there's no drugs in the bathroom. No, Haley's a liar. No, he confirmed exactly. Let me make it smaller because now you can't see Daniel's name. And indeed, this was a verified channel. This is Daniel. I've randomized drug tests. I bet you sure the hell do now. Now. But you didn't deny the entire allegation that allegedly you were caught in the bathroom with rugs, which would make sense. Yes, you have randomized drug tests, but I believe that's if you want to continue to see Meadow. Let's listen to this for a minute.
There's not another little tip that I can tell you.
Oh, no.
You should listen to what Daniel...
We're not ready for that guy yet. Okay, let me get this. So now if we keep plugging in the details, y'all. Okay. I know she's saying now her sister admitted it. Either way, whether they saw it or they didn't, it all boiled down to saying that Daniel had been doing drugs for approximately 2 years. She even used the word math, right? But she said it. You have a good point, Just Me. Where are you that I can see that? Yeah. Do we know for sure Daniel was able to see Meadow? I know there was a picture of him with her, but was it a current photo? Good, great question. At this point, who the heck knows? So, you don't probably need to hear the whole thing that she says about that. Let's just leave that off. Okay. Excellent point. Merjam says you wouldn't have random drug tests if you didn't have a problem. Actually, you could. My son has never done a drug in his life. He has randomized drug tests at his job because he works with elderly patients and they randomly choose somebody, right? So it could be with a job. It could be with a job. Yes, that's the problem, Casey. Frederick says every day is a different story with a different family member, right? That's the problem. Are you reading this? I gotta make it bigger for you guys. I bet you get the goat. You get the goat. Archer and the Empress Tarot. Nailed it. Bam! Are we just saying or what? Actually, that's pretty big and good there. Is it true Durwood has company, like an equipment? People talking about that. I heard he's homeless. I don't know what's true. I have no idea. Jennifer Swain's asking, are the rugs just laying out openly in the bathroom? Okay. Your kids are missing. You now have all hell break loose. It's late in the afternoon. You're about to go to a press release and be around RCMP and all kinds of very important, powerful, legal people, including EMTs. Do you really think Daniel would have been doing rugs at that time? I do not. I don't think they saw drugs. I don't think they smelt drugs that he did. The only thing I can think of, because my ex is sitting in prison for math and manslaughter of a female. I had nothing to do with it. He was divorced a long time from me when this happened. However, back when we were married and I found out he had a drug problem and he was cheating on me and I left him, right? He never made a lot of noise in the bathroom when he did rugs. The only time he made a lot of noise is if he was trying to get rid of rugs, like flush them and things like that, and frantic, because I was coming to the door to go to the bathroom and he didn't know what to do and he'd panic. I'd hear all kinds of, and I'd be like, what is he doing in there? So you're feeling me. Could Daniel have been getting rid of rugs? Whatever the thing is, something kept him from seeing Meadow that changed to where he could have supervision, according to what we know. He's saying he got to see Meadow, right? He's showing a picture. Look, here's my daughter, and it's a picture of Meadow and him. He's saying, I finally got to see Meadow. So something changed. My theory, and I feel it in the very pit of my gut, is that him and Janie couldn't pass a rug test, not for the RCMP, which they said they don't really need, right? They're like, we don't need a drug test. No, you don't, because I 1000% believe wholeheartedly that Daniel had to pass a drug test to see his other children. And I think he did. And I think now he has randomized drug tests to begin to earn back the trust that he has claimed. Countryside Creations trips me out every time I see you in chat. Ashlyn, that's my name, haha. I think you're talking to Ashlyn. Deanna, I think they are all liars. Police just need to take them all in and hold them until someone tells the truth and takes them to the children. I agree. Tress says, obviously has issues with drugs if he's been randomly tested. I agree. I do agree with that. Well, and there's been a lot of questions. I heard a clip from some channel about Durwood maybe getting arrested for pretty much impeding an investigation. There were like 3 charges I could see. I should see if I can find it again. Thank you for sharing the word on the street, right? Victoria's Secret, I wonder if the reason Durwood is in knee deep with Daniel's family and meeting up in the parking lot because he's either buying from or supplying. Or he's just a harmless old man that just thinks he knows more than he really does because he's gullible and he's drinking up the milk that Daniel and Janie are spilling. Hi, Victoria. Thank you, Rach. I was the one to fight him with Darren after the threat. Yeah, Daniel was, O'Grady. Grandpa O'Grady was getting very angry. I don't see your comment, sweetheart. You'd have to repost it for me to see it. Page isn't monetized. I don't care, but y'all can see the live feed if you missed it. Thank you, dear. Dorothy Campbell says he changed in appearance too. Remember the very first interview was deeply concerning. Just me one YouTube. Maybe Daniel had the rugs hidden in the bathroom and he was making a lot of noise getting rid of the rugs, i.e. like behind the toilet or something like that, making a lot of noise. Just a thought. Was anything found on the trail cams? Not that we're aware of. Ariel says if Derwin O'Grady goes to jail, he won't be homeless anymore. Problem solved. He's a can of beef to me. A total can of beef. Total can of beef. Yeah, that's what I think. Good vibes only. I agree with you. They're all covering for each other. So let's get into this for a minute. Before we get into the PowerPoint, let's talk about this. So if that were true, hypothetically for a minute, that that Daniel got caught doing rugs, okay? or admitted to it, or CPS drug test him in Malaya. Whatever, he got caught and couldn't have visitation until he earned it. And that's why he kept saying he's working on getting visitation with Meadow. Working on getting there. Working to get clean. Those are the words that they use. I know this. I've worked with people. Just like Sunny's talking about her niece who's had this issue. I have people in my life that break my heart because I see this. We're not alone. There are family members out there that you have maybe that go through this where you know they're lying to you when they say they're clean, right? They'll go through complete denial until they're caught. Me and my best friend and her other friend bought a pee test online and waited for her daughter to come home because she was denying it so heavily. And we were like, pee in the cup. And she didn't want to pee in that cup. You know why? Because, yes, it came back dirty as heck. But she was in complete denial for hours before she finally gave in and took a pee in the cup. And then it was quite clear. She also lost those children for quite a while, like 2 years. She had to earn it back and stay clean. She had to be able to pass a pee test. So I think it's quite obvious to me that obviously rugs are involved, and that's why Janie and Daniel were all nervous about the camper, the cupboard, the dog, right? Maybe the dog was going to attack people because it's a guard dog of that trailer. Who knows? And I'm definitely not suggesting that the dog harmed the children. I'm talking about why she didn't want the police to go in there, is the dog might hurt the police, right? Courtster says they do hair strand test over here, which goes back 6 months. Kilkenny stays in the system and pee for 4 days. Hair is 6 months. Thank you, lovely. Tress says when she was making the statement about the rugs in the bathroom with Daniel, did you hear her phone pinging? People must have been telling her to be quiet. Yeah, I agree with that. Fire Foxy says, I think Malaya found the kids at 6 a.m. when she went to make the phone call to the school. I believe, in my opinion, I'm going to add that for you. Your opinion is that you believe Malaya was involved with Ruggs and Daniel, and it is possible the kids got a hold of it. Firefox, I think you're right. I think he nailed the time and everything. The day before kids went missing and family was out shopping and Daniel said he met up with Derwood in the parking lots, makes me think it was a Gover check day and Daniel was the BI. It could be. Dorothy says most hit rock bottom before they get help to get clean. Right. They usually lose it all, including the kids. Countryside Creations, Firefly, I think the kids got into it to dig up the driveway. I'm still asking that. The boot print. Like the kid hopping around on 1 foot, they knew the dog would hit there. Probably their dog would have hit there, right? Any dog is going to hit if there's something buried under the ground. But let me explain this to you. What if, this is my explanation as to how this probably went down, because it's so simple, it's pathetic. Could it be, and I just get shivers, you and I know that the first thing a child wants in the morning, let me ask you, what's the first thing kids want in the morning when they're 4 and 6 years old? First thing they want. Why would they come in your bedroom? Why are they going to come in there by you? What do they want? Oh, thank you. Kids will taste anything. I have a memory of eating a handful of baby aspirin because they tasted like sweet tarts. Thank you. This does remind me of Sebastian Rogers. Okay. They won't tell you they need their butt changed, but that's probably the truth, right? But that second part, food, breakfast, food, breakfast, right? So I'm not reaching out into the ethers here. I'm not stretching to say that if they weren't getting fed, that Lily may have decided to get herself a little bowl of cereal, right? And help Jack, her brother, because that was probably what she would do. That's right. Yes, all of you are right. Exactly. Boom! Somebody leaves something laying around near the kitchen table or on a kitchen counter that the kids might have thought, well, we'll put this in our cereal for sugar. Are you feeling me? It's that simple. That's what I think happened. I literally 1000% in my gut am asking, like I feel this could be it, maybe it, hypothetically, allegedly. We got Janie and Daniel can't see the kids till they do something, right? Do something right. What are they working towards? Well, Daniel achieved it, so I'm guessing he can piss test clean. So I'm guessing he couldn't the first time around, and so they said, no, you can't see the baby, even supervised. You have to piss test clean, and then we'll start you on the program, and you also have to join recovery of some kind, right? So the kids are hungry. We all know that. That's a fact of life. Children wake up starving. They're complainers. They're whiners. Mom, I'm hungry. I've got 22-year-old children that will come in my house that haven't seen me all day, that don't even live at my house, and they'll come in and say, not hi, Mom, how are you? But Mom, I'm hungry. I'm hungry, right? It never stops, so it's factual. Lily was coming in that room probably to ask about school and to get breakfast. So, what, a couple tablespoons of it? If it's Fent, touching it could kill them. If it's Fent, F-E-N-T, anal, you feel me? Fent, touch it, poof. Correct, Viv. Mama D, I know this sounds weird, but mosquitoes hate Victoria's Secret bombshell fragrance. Carnation plant water will kill larvae, and carnation bushes planted. Thank you, lovely. I appreciate that, Vague. Right, we don't know if CPS has Meadow or not. We know that Meadow was not allowed to be around Daniel until he earned it some way, right? He worked toward it. Oh, Marley, it's just crazy over there with Durwood. He's just lost it. And Daniel's refusing to come online and actually use his voice to communicate to Sunny on It's a Crime Machine. But he's haunting her chat and throwing all these little things out there, right? It's really ridiculous. He's lost basically all credibility. Heather, how much do you think it would take for a 30 and 40 pound kid each of the math to make them no longer okay? Hey, Pinky Pup, good to see you. Deborah Van Winkle, love you, love you. That's right, no such thing as a perfect crime. You're gonna get caught. Well, I mean, like I said, we've had a big problem with this friend of mine on this math, and then her friends are on math that she goes to, but she's no longer there. She's fully recovered over the last 4 years. She's gained back the visitation without supervision around her children and is doing wonderful, maintaining a full-time job, everything, doing great. So there is courage to recover. It worked. She got her life back, and it's wonderful. And I'm so proud of her. Exactly. They're always hungry. Big vent problem. Touch it, they're done. What do? You get the rugs out of the house because you know damn well they're going to be searching the house. Before even that family gets there, you get those rugs out of that house. Probably throw them somewhere else, the rug somewhere. Probably why he drove away. But what'd they do with the kids? And I think, I will be honest, the way Malaya's behavior is with her sorrow, she's had a finality. She's had a finality. She left the property, in my humble opinion, knowing there's no reason to stay there. Not only was she told, if you want the baby, you're going to have to leave because there was rugs on this property and it was with him. He's the one piss testing. Right? Not so cool. So, could the rugs have been stored in the camper? And that's why they didn't want. Okay? Now the question would be, what did they do with them? Where are the children? Now, some of you are not spiritual. I am. I'm extremely spiritual. And I'm going to tell you, I think that the children, just in my humble feeling, are going to be found possibly between the school and the trailer. That way, if they are found, they have one, they could be like, well, I guess the kids were on their way to school and they decided to walk themselves and somebody picked them up and did this. Number two, right? So even if the children are found, I think they're going to be found between the school and that trailer. And I think it's further towards the school, almost as far away as you can get without getting into like the community of houses. Exactly, Heather Marie. Thank you, lovely. Right. You guys are right on this. Vanilla, how long does it take to get the rugs out of your system? I don't do rugs of any kind. I am lost in all of this. Can take 4 or 5 days to get the methyl, out, but I'm not sure on fent. So, okay, Vega's saying, I heard that Daniel's mom was not supposed to be on property. Can someone explain why? Yeah. It's not that she wasn't supposed to be there, like, legally or something. It's that it had all been decided that Janie was going to stay the night at her boyfriend's. This is the step granny. However, surprise, she was there in the morning. Doesn't mean she was there all night, does it? These kids maybe didn't have supper. And they went to make themselves a bowl of cereal for supper, and it happened then. All of a sudden, Daniel resets fence, so it looks like the granny trailer is its own property, right? Search warrant, separate, fence dividing. See, I'm thinking this through. As well as, could that be it? Hiding the rugs. Thank you. Right, and the type of rug. Now, pot, weed, that could be 30 days. And it depends on your body fat. Did he steal the story from Salone? Isn't that something? Countryside, you're gonna get the goat. That's a great question. Did Grandpa O'Grady just go watch Salone and be like, that's a great cover. Thank you, Rach. Make sure, y'all, if you've been here this long, you doggone know you love our channel. So show the channel and me and all our 1111s lots of loves and hit the like button. CPS definitely got custody. I think they are buried in the side of water, and Daniel got rid of them. Don't tell her where they are, and so they are both locked in. And I don't think Malia knows where the children's bodies are. I think she knows they passed, because she's got resolve. She's got a finality to her. She's already processed something of grief, right? She feels sorrow and pain. So she's processed this demise of her children, in my opinion. Now, her goal is to protect Meadow. That came out of her own mouth in the text to Belinda, that she's now protecting Meadow. How'd she protect Meadow? By leaving Daniel where the rugs are. And if he left, if the real story is that he's the one that put the two children's bodies in a vehicle, right? Then Malia didn't want to know. That way she could pass a polygraph. And if these children passed away because they were putting crystal math, right? Mathematics, crystal mathematics in their cereal, or touching Fent, then Daniel can lie to himself and say he wasn't responsible and he didn't kill him because he wasn't the one that gave it to him. It was an accident. And therefore, he could pass a lie detector test. I agree, Lori. I agree that that is a possibility. Yes, Annabelle, truth. Aw, you have a lot of support here, Heather. I've been seeing the crowd is behind your recovery. Heather, don't look back, says Jenny. Keep moving forward. I know there's a lot of regret. I know this because my 36-year-old son, who is an heroin adept and in rehab right now for the 4th time. I said we've all had moments where we're too familiar with this heartbreaking truth that many of our youth or family members have fallen into addiction. No, pot ain't gonna drop nobody. Nothing. That's nothing. Right, shenanigans. It's been too long. Right, Janie. Thank you for the $10 snooper chat. Thank you, lovely. You say, spot on. I heard her sorrow in that first and only interview the day after. And why continue to talk if you know damn well that the kids are no more? You're not going to beg for people to look. And you can't do anything to bring your children back. However, if you really loved your children, you would tell everyone where they are so they could get a proper burial and you could lay to rest with God all your fears by being the right parent of your children. Unless you don't know where they are, you just know what happened. You still need to talk. Right, exactly. Lizanne says, I've been clean for 10 years now. Congratulations. Thank you, lovely. It's through their own words. When Janie's like, I can't see any of the kids. When Daniel's like, I couldn't see Meadow. I've been fighting. I've been working. That was the term. I've been working hard to be able to get granted supervised visits. That's all giveaway that these people can't pass a piss test, in my humble opinion. And if they can't pass a piss test, it was because they were on rugs. And that tells me a lot. So when they're out there talking, remember, the information they're giving You have to really look at it and ask, why were Daniel and Janie restricted even from supervised visits, but something changed for Daniel that he worked towards and was able to get supervised visits with a Meadow. I think he could pass a P test. Well, think of Barry Morphew. If you're not familiar with that case, Barry Morphew went on television pleading and begging. He'll give anything to help find his wife, Suzanne Morphew. He's now facing trial for her red rum, where he chased her, allegedly, with a tranquilizer gun and said he was just hunting chipmunks around his yard. According to her Life 360, it was more than chipmunks he was hunting. Think of Chris Watts begging for his family to come home. Phoenix Files, it's too bad, and welcome back, lovely. It's too bad if they couldn't call 911. Maybe one or both of them could have saved, but they wouldn't be risk tested or jail, in my opinion. It's all about Meadow. It's all about Meadow, I assure you. That's not even that's why they wouldn't have called. No. They were worried they would lose custody of Meadow. Countryside says my father was on rack and dealt it even, and so I see the red flags, and fortunately family will lie for each other, especially in the situation. Keep it PG, y'all, so I can read your comments, please. Just me. Does anyone think that RCMP could be dirty? Just wondering. Let's look at this. All right, we've got well over 200 votes. We're going to do the poll. Are you ready from home? Thank you for replay. Thank you for my live chatters. Here we go. Do you have faith in the job that RCMP is doing? If you answered A, yes, RCMP will find Lilly and Jack 21%, which is the second least favorite. B, no, RCMP didn't get cameras till recently. 15%. Right? Yeah. If you answered C, then you're saying I'm starting to doubt that RCMP is our number one answer with 38%. And if you answered D, I feel RCMP is close to arresting, 27%. So the majority is 38%. C, I'm starting to doubt the RCMP. And I'm going to close off that poll. Thank you all for taking the poll. That's quite alarming, but I mean, they haven't used cadaver dogs, right? Why not use cadaver dogs? I don't get that. What's wrong with... Okay, you've got one cadaver dog. We'll donate. All of true crime will come together and foot the entire damn bill through a GoFundMe somehow, and we'll get a cadaver dog for you guys. Will RCMP then allow it? We want it all over. A cadaver dog all over the trailer, the camper, under, all the fixing boxes, all over the property. It's just... I can't read that out loud, but it does make you wonder. Okay. Countryside saying it's not true that there's only one cadaver dog. We train them in the town beside me in Waynfleet. Thank you, Countryside. I feel you. I feel you. You just want your loved one better, right, Jenny? You have them there. So why are they telling us that they only have one dog in all of Nova Scotia? What's the holdup on the cadaver dogs? Phoenix Files says these two little humans didn't just walk off into the Canadian bush in rubber boots and a pull-up. Thank you, lovely. To quote Dolly Vision, where's the babies? So, let's take a minute, you guys. Okay, so let's just take a breather for a minute because I want to get my ducks in a row before I bring this together. Like I said over here, we speculate to try to get to a point where we understand what in the world is happening in the case. Here's my thing. They did not get up and feed these kids. The first thing the kids are going to want to do is eat some damn breakfast. That's a fact. Did the children get into rugs? Janie and Daniel were restricted, and then Daniel earned back through working towards getting visitation. Sounds like he finally could pass a P test, which probably means that's why he couldn't see the kids, is he couldn't pass one. Janie didn't want anybody in the cupboard or in the camper, period. You feel me? I would pay towards that even. I would come up from UK to Canada to help. Thank you, Janie. Thank you, lovely, for both the super chat and that. Because I mean, what does it take? What do you need, RCMP, to get cadaver dogs out there? Even if just to humor us. We'll figure it out. We're amazing as true crimers. We can pull it together. All I got to do is be like Dolly Vision. We're all going to back you, and since you have the most subscribers out of all us little true crimers, like It's a Criming Shame, myself, and others, a lot of other beautiful people working on this case, but Dolly has the most subscribers. Do we need a GoFundMe to get some dogs over there? Is that what it takes? We just need word. Somebody in the area figure out, ask RCMP. Give them a call, right? I'm not from Canada. I'm from Wisconsin in the US of A. Why do I work this case? Because it fell in my lap and I care about these kids. I care greatly for Lilly and Jack. I covered the Dylan Eiler case when that happened too. So, I mean, I don't think kids in general have boundaries because they're in one area or another. Not seeing imminent arrest, that's too many people involved in my opinion. This is way deeper than poor Lilly and Jack, especially if that was a math maker instead of a place to sleep over there. If, let's say, Granny J had been more or less staying at boyfriends all the time, right? Then that little rundown camper that looks like it came off of Breaking Bad might be exactly that. But we call it Granny's camper. So it could be that we actually not only have somebody that's previously not passing P tests, but could they be manufacturing product as well and had to clean up some stuff. Countryside Creation says you fully can. RCMP has to take calls from public, especially because they're out the reward. I think the statement about the pull-up from the very first day, only one day later, is very, very odd. I agree. None your business. Welcome back, lovely. Why did the girls state they found rugs in the bathroom after Daniel and then recanted, said she didn't say what she clearly did, and it's enough farting around now, eh? Agreed. And she got really snippy on Facebook, saying, I don't really owe you an answer. Well, guess what? You're the one coming onto their Facebook and putting little breadcrumbs out there. Yeah, you do have a moral responsibility when there's two missing kids if you start supplying information that you clarify what the hell you mean. Otherwise, you're not doing yourself any favors because RCMP is going to take it at face value. Believe me, they know when you people talk, so keep talking. Yes, the camper is still on property, Jenny, as far as I know. Janie is talking about Thursday night. That's when she filled the pothole. Okay, y'all know I say it like it is. I come from a very poor background. We didn't even have indoor toilet when I was young, living in the very first part of the time I was in Wisconsin, 9 years old. We had an outhouse. Truthfully, because my mama was into rugs and didn't pay no bills. So we had to build a place to poop outside. Okay? Now listen to me. Why would she be concerned about filling no potholes when you see the condition of everything else? There isn't just one bucket of gravel. There's gradients of buckets of gravel. There's the larger size, the smaller size. There's even fine gravel. All these buckets over there sitting next to that nice clean four-wheeler. I'm going to tell you now, I think they buried these children in a shallow, not so shallow, grave where they've used gravel to cover them. And I think they're somewhere between the school and the trailer. That's just my opinion. Heather Marie says, I honestly feel in my heart they got into their parents' stash. Praying for justice. These babies are so precious. Yep. And also remember, oh my God, okay, the brother of Daniel is allegedly couch surfing, if you will, between his dad's, Daniel's dad, and back and forth between Daniel's. I would say go down by a river or somewhere in the woods over there by Daniel's dad's property and see if you can see some disturbed ground way out in the woods. Because sure, I've been told they searched the house and that they searched directly around the father's house. But I'll bet you it's further in the woods. Because that four-wheeler's clean and you got all them buckets of gravel. And it's close enough to be able to use a four-wheeler to get there. It's just down the road. And if you don't think I have some inkling that that could be right, when I heard that that little piece of blanket and the water bottle, and yes, if you look at Jack and Lily's backpack, I want to show you this. Let's go over to this. What do you see right here? What is that? Everybody's like, why would the kids have a water bottle? Right here? Uh-huh. Because it's in their backpack. Right? And the backpack of Lily's is missing. And if he's got a water bottle, so does she. They found a water bottle. They found a blanket. And what else did they find? Right? And that's all allegedly planted? Or was it really there? And, oh my God, remember, this is a great live. Remember when, it's like I'm getting these ideas in my head and I'm like, oh my God. Okay, hear me out for a minute. When I was little, they used their sweater to tie me onto the little four-wheeler. I wasn't little, but I was a teenager. To tie me onto the four-wheeler so I wouldn't get bumped off. Well, if these kids are not alive, could Daniel grab two sweaters so he had the arms to put the child in the sweater but not in the arms so that he could tie them arms to the four-wheeler with both little kids and have his hands free? That's wild, I know, but I'm just saying. We've got this whole idea these kids are hungry when they get up. And then they are no more. And the brothers' boots. Thank you, Katrina. I forgot about that. Were sparkling clean. wrapped in his 2 shirts. I'm not going to say the name just because it's not my place. Well, and they're not saying that there's only one cadaver dog in Canada. I misspoke if I said that. One in Nova Scotia area, which I don't get it. So what? Get one from somewhere else. Right, Phoenix Files says, so sad. I'm getting his deliberately saying through third-party message, waterfall, in my opinion. He might be dropping a clue where them kids' bodies could be found. Who knows? Me too, Heather. You felt uneasy seeing the picture of the brother just sitting back on a clean four-wheeler like he had no care in the world while the searchers were in there. There's something about them sweaters. Nobody is going to come out there on the internet and go, okay, my 2 kids are missing, but if you find 2 sweaters when they're found, they're mine, and I had nothing to do with it. I'm just saying now, I think they probably using the sweaters to plant them. No. Why would Daniel be in dress shoes? Where were his other shoes? Exactly, Tammy. He would need it. I hope to God that they go over to the daddy's property of Daniel and that brother and Jamie's ex and search that property closer to the water, in the woods. If there's no water, get in the woods, because they had all kinds of buckets of gravel. That four-wheeler's clean. We know damn well these kids wanted breakfast, and they probably didn't get sugar on their cereal. They probably got something else. And that's a Breaking Bad camper out there that probably Janie has always had her boyfriends, that Daniel's like, well, hell, let's just put the kids, in here by us, and we'll use that other place to make them math. It's crazy, but it could be true. You think, Tress? It could be they were missing the night before. I'm talking about gone the night before, no longer with us. Maybe they were left on their own in the evening after that whole thing, and got into that camper and got into the mathematical equation, and that's why Daniel was working on setting fence that night, why they can't talk about brushing them kids' teeth or giving them a bath or feeding them supper. It's like they didn't have to do any of that. Why? Were the children already passed? And then, they went, and maybe the brother's like, oh man, I'm sorry, brother, I got your back. I'm going to go take the kids and deposit them over by dad somewhere, but I'm not going to tell you where, so you and Malaya can pass a test. And then Malaya, it backfired. She found out that Daniel couldn't pass a piss test because they forgot about that part. They were more worried, in my opinion, about the poly. That's why he's like, I'll take a poly because I don't know where the kids are. Malaya could take a poly. She won't know where the kids are because the brother knows. Right? Something like that. Angels are here, lovely. I think you mean the brightest tool in the yard, because they wouldn't put the tools back in the box. That would be too neat and take effort. They'd just whip them out in the yard, I think. I know, right? Get them brother in. Now, if you guys are into the Jay Slater case, Mama D is working along a whole nother true crime team over here with Wax, Unfiltered, and Duncan, and others behind the scenes. Some of them got the golden ticket to the inquest. Just some people got some golden tickets to the inquest, and we're going to be fighting that Jay Slater battle all the way to the second part of the continued inquest, which is 2 days. And so I've done a little bit of thinking. You know me, I go deep dive and start trying to plug in all the information and see what I come out with. And we've got one coming up. Let me show you what it's going to look like here. And then I'm going to show you O'Grady flipping out on beautiful Sunny and Charmaine. And there's no reason for it. Okay, let me get back over So, let me move. It's called Two Bottles. It's not showing up right. I don't know why. What did I do? Oh, there. Still not working right. What's going on? That's tomorrow, and you're not going to want to miss it if you're Jay Slater case, because we're about to break some stuff down. Now, let's get into this. Okay, we did that one. Let's do this one. Yeah, this one. So, O'Grady, this is a few days ago, even weeks ago. I don't know. It's whenever Darren O'Grady, Grandpa O'Grady, came out and talked about the blanket and all this. And I told you, I think it's leading us to the clue. It probably got snagged up. See, they got to wrap the baby's bodies. Hold the damn phone. They got to wrap the baby's bodies up and rip the stuff to tie them to the rack on the four-wheeler. So what would you grab? Curtain that's all already shit? Or even out of the garbage, grab something out of the garbage and tie it? And then it gets hung up on the way to Grandpa's house, right? Over the hill in jail. Anyway. So now we're going to hear this whole scenario from Grandpa O'Grady about Daniel's narrative of the blanket, which I think the blanket was actually used to tie the children onto the four-wheelers so they wouldn't fall off, if you get me.
There's another little tip that I can tell you.
What?
Man, you should listen to what Daniel says about the blanket thing that got turned up on the side of the road.
Tell me about that. Tell me about that, please. Because, yeah.
That blanket, out there, they only get garbage. They only get garbage like about once a week, and sometimes not for 2 weeks. So the story is unconfirmed by me, but told to me by somebody who's been telling me the truth over and over and over. So the blanket thing was one of the kids' blankets, but it was pretty bad shape, so they decided to throw it in the garbage. So they got a garbage bin inside the house there, so there was some stuff in the garbage bag, and that blanket was one of the things that was stuffed in the garbage bag. So anyway, Daniel noticed after the kids were gone missing,
and we were all in the kitchen and we heard like
garbage bag and ripped the garbage bag and went to pull that blanket out of it, but the blanket was rotten.
Okay, I know he is not Grandpa. He is the second cousin of Malaya. I call him as a nickname, Grandpa O'Grady. Okay.
That's why there's only a piece of blanket. That blanket ended up the road hanging from a tree, and it wasn't there for the first day. It actually wasn't there for the first day. It never showed up, I don't believe, until the second day on the side of the road. Because don't forget, Daniel's got family that lives up the dirt road, and they...
From my understanding, Dad lives up the road. Listen, this is right here where O'Grady's telling you that family lives just up that road of Daniel where the blanket was found. That's the property I'm talking about.
And ripped the garbage bag and went to pull that blanket out of it, but the blanket was rotten. And that's why there's only a piece of blanket. That blanket ended up the road hanging from a tree, and it wasn't there for the first day. It actually wasn't there for the first day. It never showed up, I don't believe, until the second day on the side of the road. Because don't forget, Daniel's got family that lives up the dirt road, and they travel back and forth. And they said they never saw that. They would see the blanket, part of the blanket sticking in the trees, like a sore thumb up there.
Right.
And we went in to kind of investigate after him.
Do you know who found the blanket? The blanket piece in the tree?
We just heard that it was family that took him there.
That's right. Malaya's friends and family.
Malaya's.
Do you know who found the blueprint up on the pipeline?
Malaya's friends and family?
Malaya's friends and family. Do you know, they all the evidence except for one little thing. That the only thing the searchers found, and I'm pretty sure now some searcher might come on here and say, "Oh, I'm full of shit," that they did find something else, but I don't think so. And there was some stuff went missing out of the trailer. Daniel checked on too, and he reported this to the Mounties because what he was scared of that somebody took this stuff because he was sure somebody planted this evidence.
Sure.
Right.
And there was some other stuff missing of his, and he was sure that that somebody was going to try to blame him to make it look like an abduction, and that he did it down the line. So he reported this to the Mounties right off the start to protect. And it was a smart move on his behalf.
Yeah.
He had 2 sweaters, a water bottle, and something else were taken out of his.
What
So
was it about
water
those
bottle.
sweaters? Because
saying that the water bottle came out and that it is family up there. Now, let's get into this. Look at this. So, Sunny and Charmaine are doing their job, spreading awareness on Lilly and Jack for hours and hours every day, working so hard to just keep everybody on task and get everybody talking. And so all of a sudden, Durwood has shared his, let's see what Daniel calls it. So this is Daniel's own post, and this is from Shenandra Speaks. So hit up her channel as well and share love. And from Shenandra Speaks, she says, this is Daniel Martell's post. The mother did not hide them. The proposed theory, right? Theory. See that word right there? Theory? Is that the mother escorted them quietly to a vehicle. Then the vehicle drove them to an unknown location where they remain in hiding. So they're not being hid, they're just in hiding. Investigators are still hard at work determining the exact location. I'm glad they're telling you that. However, I'm so sorry. Here's the thing. Sunny has listened to everyone's theory. Daniel's, even Belinda's. She's listened to Daryl O'Grady talk till she's blue in the face, I'm sure. She's never shared her own opinion till last night. And it was very well done. A little different than I think, but I respect her for sharing her opinion. Darren O'Grady went off to feed. If he's all about Lilly and Jack, if the man, Darren O'Grady, whatever your name is all about Lilly and Jack, and that's all that matters, then why is he throwing such a tantrum in her chat and accusing Sunny of wicked things, accusing Charmaine of wicked things, and basically, I'll let you see what he said. And I only caught 4 of them because some of them were just so ugly I wasn't about to even share because, and I was embarrassed for Durwood. But I told you, they're about to crack. They're cracking. So keep on talking. Durwood O'Grady. A lot of pathetic people in this chat. Crap. I didn't think there were this many nasty people. Was I wrong? Right, nasty mama. That's terrible. Then I caught him over here. Yes, go please. Right? He just was getting worse and worse. I only caught some of them, y'all. He put a ton out there. He threatened some other person, right? On a different couple, like, day before. Anyway, he says here, Charmaine, he even calls her out. What about you? First mudslinging tonight about me. Remember? Crap. She wasn't saying that Durwood did anything wrong. She was saying she thought everything that Durwood was being told was crap. Right? But he went off. And then finally, the kick on the teeth that he pulled, which angered me, he says to Sunny, he says, you slagged Daniel for 5 minutes. True crime is nothing. It's a mess. Goodbye. Done with you. What have you really accomplished for Jillian Lack? And you slag Jamie. Good. Won't say more here. So, thing about him, he tends to throw a little tantrum, right? When people don't believe him. Like he came over here and threw a huge tantrum. Now, I didn't record anything he said. I just blocked him. But at the same time, you feel what I'm saying. Nope, if Daniel's afraid of being framed, and that theory makes 0 sense, dog breath. That's what y'all are calling him. I'm not going to call him that, but Sinead says, just joined, I'm going to watch from the start. I put my DNA on the like button. Hello, everybody from Dublin, Ireland. Thank you, Sinead. What is Sunny's channel? It is, I actually went and got the top of the channel right here for you so you can see. Let me switch over. Right here, it's called, there we go. True crime cases, it's a criming shame, all right? So go give them a lot of love. I have been. I'm jumping in on their chats in the evening because I'm very supportive of creators that are doing the right thing. When I know that they've really got the kids in mind, when I know that they're really working the case to try to get awareness out there, they're really staying unbiased. They're not allowing, like, oh, I'll get a better interview if I play nice. They don't do that. They do not do that. I do not support a channel that will favor one of the missing children's parents more than the other because they might get an interview. I'm all out. I'm like, nope, not going to do it. But with Sunny, she does not do that. She opens the floor up unbiased. She encourages everybody to talk, and she's doing a great, fantastic job. Missy Lecker says, 1111 True Crime, your beautiful friend. You should do a live tonight, maybe, since Sunny isn't. Love you. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe. I haven't thought about it. That might be a good suggestion, but she can't right now because she's on a heavy work schedule for 2 days. So I might come on here a little bit later. Dagwood Derwin. Kenny's talking about you have a contradiction yourself. Oh, you guys. No, there's no H, honey. It's a criming shame. No H. I don't think they needed to part with the kids for rugs. I really honestly wonder if they were the ones making the rugs. This way, I think it made things lose track for sure for a while. I do too. I do too. Careful. We can't tell people to shut the F up. Gotta keep it PG, you guys. Keep it PG. Yes, ma'am. People don't realize they are being that way on purpose because Daniel is up in their videos listening. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Not that I know of. I haven't seen anything from Janie. P says, what two innocent children went through due to all what a family did to them is horrid in your opinion. Thank you, lovely, for sharing that. I know. And Jack, right? Well, they get the story going, and yeah, I get that we want to keep them talking. We do. We want to keep them talking because that's how we find out all this information. But we also aren't taking it as, fact. We're looking at it, and we're deciding. Diamonds for DC, thank you, lovely, so incredibly much for the 99-cent snooper chat. I appreciate that. Welcome back, young black economist. Long time no see. Good to see you, lovely. Phoenix File says, try to stay on top of dog breath latest theory. I guess it's Daniel getting framed now. For what? For what would be the question? You think she's been in other chats too? Okay, well, thank you. I do believe there should be a private investigator at this point. She's purposely, when I say unbiased, I'm saying when it comes to the kids, it could, whatever is the truth, right? We're not going to change it. If it points the finger at either Malaya or Daniel or at anybody, She's going to be for the kids and go with the truth. $150K? If they were making the rugs in the house with the children, then it can get into the children's system that way, or even the camper. Ah, thank you, Diamonds. I appreciate that. Yeah, my style's different. I just be me. Phoenix File says, I'm just shocked these people seemed more worried about what the people think. Absolutely, about their rugby use than where their children are. It does seem like that. True, Mary Jum, true. A private investigator would be nice because it would put the pressure on and they could work with the police too. I would love that. I'm thinking it was someone making mathematics in the Breaking Bad camper. Well, and I respect your opinion. Nobody probably expected them to get into the rugs, whether they were in the house or opera. Nan, Uncle's magic camper. Oh, Lord. Yes, Belinda indeed loves the children, and she's the other grandma. Barbara says, I'm new, however, interested in the case. What is going on with rugs, please? So, just a recap is that Lilly and Jack's, I'm trying to think how this would be, aunt. So it'd be Belinda, Malaya's half-sister Haley, the children's aunt, has come out and allegedly accused of Daniel being caught with rugs in the bathroom. She even was talking about the mathematical being part of it. And you'll have to watch the video from the beginning, honey. This the way we were roll, aka Random Star. I'm going to call you Random Star. Yeah, about that all initial interviews were addressing online or personal comments, it seemed, in my opinion. Right, pipe down seems nicer. Jennifer Swain, thank you for the $4.99 snooper chat. I greatly appreciate that, lovely. I truly do. Out of all the family, Belinda, I do believe. I agree with you on that, Merjum. P says Alana was out in the area yesterday putting posters up of the kids with supports from Bracelets yesterday, and she's helping Belinda. That's right. She's also the one that does the memorials, is Alana. Sorry, guys. A lot of talking. Young Black Economist says issue with the $150K is it has to lead to evidence that's useful. Correct. Talking about the reward. $150,000 reward. It's true that some bounty hunters' PIs try to solve the case and get the reward, but I find it unlikely someone in the know will come forward. I think they would have by now if they knew. Unless they're going to be held accountable for the crime. Right? You're killing me, Rach. Barbara says, I thought maybe the kids were in rugs. Thank you for listening while you're running your errands. Young Black says there have to be a slip up for someone who isn't guilty to have information. In my opinion, only people who know now are guilty, and it's only maybe one or two people, maybe up to four. And I know the four you're talking about. Phoenix File says, I bet they are all in these chats. I would too. That's where half the new moves come from. It was in the woods, then abducted, then the mom, then getting framed. Crazy. Yeah. Offspring, hello, lovely. I was going to buy property in Nova Scotia and was told Pictou County was the Tennessee of Nova Scotia as far as rugs go. Oh, Lord. Ben Hill? in Tennessee. I'm just saying. That's like, in my humble opinion, after a lot of research into the Summer Wells case, Ben Hill Road to me is like the traffic center. Missy, I think all vehicles should be searched leaving Ben Hill Road in Tennessee. That's just my opinion. Missy Ledger, anyone from Pictou area going to the Hector ship launch on Saturday? Would love to meet some fellow Lilly and Jack Army soldiers. There you go. Imagine the cops have sent one of those informants in. I pray they have. Barbara says, I have absolutely no doubt that the mother knows exactly what happened to those children. I do not believe they went in the woods. She is way too complacent. She's already resolved to me. Like, Mama is like, you know, on the day after these children are already gone, she appears to be grieving and speaking of sorrow. She's already had the resolve. I believe they found these kids passed away after Fent on their cereal, right? The poor man's version of other, right? So if these children were passed away and there's that four-wheeler there, Daniel can't be the one to remove their BOD IESs, right? Or he'll have all this problem passing a polygraph. So did the brother do it? Take the children off to that family member that lives down the road where the blanket's found, where the water bottle's found? Did they basically take those kids and tie them with the sweater or parts of the blanket, ripped up blanket, tie things onto the racking system on the four-wheeler, drive and bury them with all those there's tote after tote after tote of different size gravel. That's for drainage. That's for drainage. You need a live tonight? All right. Okay, I'll come on. What time are you guys thinking? Now, right now, for me, it is 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay? So count how many hours from now that you would like a live. And I'm thinking, I can't, how about this? I can come on at 8 o'clock. That's the soonest I could do it for me, which is 4.5 hours from now. I could do another live. I do have an appointment, and I have to do some stuff for work, but I could come back on in 4.5 hours at 8 p.m. for me. If you're in the UK, it's going to be like 6 on to that. It's gonna be like 2 in the morning for the UK. So, you think so, Barbara? And that could be maybe Malaya's cooperating with the police department. Big North Marty, you got a great point. Only Daniel said he passed the polygraph. That doesn't make it so. Missy says, my opinion too. Fent got into. Only need a tiny dust and you're dead without Narcon. Exactly. All right, you guys, we're going to jump off here. I'll get that outro ready. Let's go ahead and take chat down. I love you so very, very much. And I appreciate your time. I will see you again very, very soon. Gosh, thank you, lovely. Good vibes, sweetheart. Thank you for the $10 snooper chat. And I'm going to ask you, say a prayer, as I always ask, for our victims that we work on the cases for that have no voices. Be the voice for them and ask a heavenly prayer. I ask Jesus above in heaven, please bring Lilly and Jack Sullivan home. Thank you. In the name of Jesus, I pray this from the bottom of my heart. Amen. I love you guys. To the moon and back always. Oh, I didn't do it.